joking with Jeremy. I said, Jeremy, would you like to edit this podcast, or should I do it? And what did you tell me?
I said, I don't want to deprive you of your joy.
Oh, I love doing it. I love doing it when I have it on a timeline, and then I have to put little carrots.
Yeah.
Where Jeremy says things that I think will get a rise out of people, or has something that.
Do I do that?
For example, touts unheralded lefty pitcher from Iowa.
Yeah.
Which still blows my mind.
Do I say things that are a little, I don't know, incendiary? I could,
once in a while. But here's the thing, though. They may sound it at the time, but there's the scoreboard over there.
Yep.
They're usually spot on.
The lights are burning a hole in my neck.
Yeah.
It's funny. I watched the last episode. I watch them,
Yeah, sure.
But I watched the last episode, and I got a bunch of text messages about, I guess, the way I looked at the camera.
Which part? Which part?
We were talking about the number of top 100 prospects. I guess that one cracked a couple people up. I cracked me up too.
Anyone from the Mets reached out?
A couple guys. Yeah. I wasn't totally sure. I didn't feel myself doing it like that, but when I saw it, it's pretty good. I thought it was funny. It was kind of gross, but I thought it was fun. I thought it was funny all at the same time.
Oh, the sound effect. We need a drum. Yep, there it was. Okay. Big news in Texas. I know you've been. You've been in one of the meccas of college baseball, right? Nashville, home of Vanderbilt.
Yeah, Vanderbilt University, Tim Corbin.
And what happens back home here in Texas? Jim Schlossnagle leaves to go to the University of Texas after saying that, he didn't take the A&M job to take another job, and had a few choice words for the reporter who asked him about his future in Aggieland following the last game of the College World Series. Some people have said that I've seen on social media saying, well, no one got upset, or where was the outrage when this happened, or when Nick Saban did it, or Roy Williams. I think there was some outrage, but I think I think the big thing this time, for me at least, is reportedly, via eyewitnesses there, they saw Schlossnagle then go back to that reporter after the news conference and say, I will never speak to you ever again. Come on, man.
So
come on. And then, Jeremy, he gets introduced by the University of Texas, and one of the first things we hear about Jim Schlossnagle, and I've never met the man, I've heard things, is that we're bringing in a coach with high character and integrity. And those may be true. That might be true. But from the surface, when you look at how things transpired, leaving TCU wasn't great either, how that went down. But just, yeah, not a good look.
Let me, I think it's important to divide, certainly in sports, character integrity into a few different buckets, just especially in this college NIL free world. Yeah, that they don't know what's going on yet. I mean, they just don't. I don't think anybody, in looking at it on the surface, will begrudge Jim Schlossnagle or his assistants from taking a job they felt was better or higher paying, certainly higher paying.
Yeah.
Right. And better for their families in a situation. I don't see anybody ever, even the people at Texas A&M, begrudging him that. I think it's more about the way he handled it, right?
Yep.
But if we go back over the rewind of Jim Schlossnagle's career, this man, when he was at TCU, had 100-plus page paper written as to why players should go to college and why scouts were full of it.
Oh, I didn't know that.
Oh, I've seen the paper.
Oh,
I was an area guy at the time. I've seen the paper. That takes a lot of effort to work to discredit somebody else. I've seen people who do that stuff. They work hard to discredit somebody else, and it's usually their problem when you do something like that. right? Now, I've never gone out of my way to know Jim Schlossnagle, because when I saw that, I was like, bro, what are you doing? Like, you can't just recruit your program. You have to like trash everybody else around you. I don't believe in that. So, but he did it then. And when he left TCU, it was the same thing. TCU, been here 20 years. 2 days later, I'm out. Texas A&M. So it's almost like when Jim Schlossnagle says he's not going to do something, you got to kind of think he's gonna. And there's a lot of people that like him in the community, in the coaching community. They're allowed to have their own relationships, their own opinions. I don't believe it's for us to sit there and disparage, but I do think that what Jim did with this, blowing up a reporter, your apology, you can keep your apology. Apology didn't mean anything. When somebody apologizes, in my view, that's for them. Do you know what the best remedy is for bad behavior? No longer doing the bad behavior. Change your actions. Now, it doesn't mean you don't say, hey, I shouldn't have done this. I'm sorry about that. But that's something that says it's about the other person, not something that says, yeah, I shouldn't, I'm sorry. No, that's for you. That's for you to sound good to the rest of the world. There's different levels of apology. Be that as it may, a lot of stuff that you're hearing, there's certainly stuff I've heard. It's accurate.
It's more true than not true.
No, it's true. There's no more true about it. It's true. Like Kurt Angle used to say, oh, it's true. So it's sometimes YouTube, when I watch our stuff, WWE comes on, like back in the day when it was the Attitude Era, watch a little bit of it, fall asleep, go to bed, just do it all over again. But anyway, Kurt Angle, it was true. Schlossnagle, though, look, Texas, Del Conte, it's a cutthroat world. They're best friends.
Yep.
Anybody who thought that he wasn't going to go to Texas with his best friend who made him a 20-year gig, I mean, didn't know anybody at A&M, knows that guy. And Texas is a place he can retire. Because as long as Del Conte's there, he's going to make sure Schlossnagle's there, right? So if Schlossnagle's there another 10 years or Del Conte's there 10 years, so will Jim. And probably beyond that. So I don't begrudge him on the surface. I think the way he did it with his players, the way he did it with the media, all that stuff's not, it shouldn't surprise people. That's who he is. That's how he does things. That's who he is. And that's that.
Interesting that a number of players from A&M entered the portal shortly after that announcement was made. I would argue that in this day and age, it probably, even if he hadn't left, I'm guessing a lot of these guys would have gone into the portal. Well, A&M's a different place, so maybe I'm wrong about that. You just see so many guys go into the portal now, regardless of school.
I don't think you're wrong. I'll say this: I'd have gone on the portal too. And the reason why is because I don't know who's coming in.
Mm-hmm.
I need to give myself options. It does nothing to do with me leaving. It just means I don't know what's in front of me. It also means I got a chance to negotiate a better deal. If I'm Gavin Grahovac, for example, who hit 23 bombs as a freshman, and I had X coming to campus, I'm probably going to want Y now. I've got more value, right? And it doesn't. That's a business decision. Now, I'm using Gavin as an example just because he's a freshman and had a great year.
Mm-hmm.
That's why. He's a SoCal kid. I know his dad a little bit. Greg Jacobs, who's a staff member here, and his dad know each other real well. But
dad was in the Giants organization,
Mike
right?
played.
Catcher.
Yeah, Mike played. Mike texted me not too long ago actually about something unrelated. But the point is that I'm using Gavin just because he's a freshman who hit 3-something with 23 home runs and drove in some runs, and that's going to make some money, right? So if Schlossnagle leaves, there's no reason why he shouldn't jump in the portal. Here's another one. It's a kid with a fastball up to 97 that apparently has some secondary stuff, got a chance to go pretty high in the draft. Yeah, I'm jumping in the portal too. I don't know who's coming in. I need to be able to vet. I have the opportunity now to vet myself or vet the guys that are coming in and see if it's right for me. So I wouldn't read anything into that. I think what's interesting is that no one's gone to Texas yet. Because if they were going to follow, at least initially, that was first choice, they're gone already.
Well, Schlossnagle has, and UT has since put out a video, I assume a fundraising video. So maybe they realize that they need to start raising some money, NIL stuff, to get these kids on campus. Certain kids.
I heard from somebody the other day that A&M at one point, they couldn't tell me if it was true now or not, had the biggest collective in the sport.
Mm-hmm. We saw that in football.
Yeah, and so if that's the case, then it's not money. because A&M's going to go ahead and do it, right? It really has to do more with, do you want to go play for Jim Schlossnagle? The overwhelming answer from people that I've seen, past and present, is no. They don't want to do it. They want to trust where they are. They want to look over their shoulder. One guy said he was a terrible person to him for the last several years. It could be sour grapes. It could be true. It could be not true. It could just be opinion. But nobody's jumped to Texas yet. And you would think that if they wanted to go play for him, they all have the opportunity. They'd already be there.
Playing the field.
Maybe. Not saying they won't end up there.
Mhm.
I wouldn't be surprised if most of those guys end up back at A&M, especially if the coach is who I think it is.
Jace Laviolette, potential 1-1.
Yeah, top 5 for sure.
He was an early commit to LSU while in high school and then went to A&M.
That was Jay, though. Jay wasn't there yet, right? Or was Jay there? Might have been there. Anyway, I wouldn't surprise those guys go back. If the new coach at A&M is who I've heard it is.
Oh, really?
Yeah. Then I wouldn't be surprised if all those guys jump
I guess I need to get that after the podcast. Anyway.
I'll tell you who I heard. I'll tell you right now.
Okay.
Dan Hefner from Dallas Baptist. That's what I heard.
Okay.
I'm not saying it's accurate.
Okay.
I'm betting it's accurate because I've heard that name enough, but I'm not saying it's for sure. That's just what I've heard.
Okay.
And so anybody who's watching this will timestamp it for Thursday night at 10:57 p.m. I've been laying on the newsroom floor for us to get started with this stuff, but 10:57 p.m.
By the way, I was ready at 8 o'clock. But
yeah, I had stuff to do. I just got back. But while Jason was waiting for me, I was late. Saw some fun at the gas station. That was cool. Came in here.
Yeah.
You had to go do your news, and I laid down.
Hefner, that name is out there.
Oh, is it?
Yeah, it is. I'm looking here at Gig'em Gazette.
Well, there you go.
Hefner's on there.
There you go.
Coaching hires that will keep A&M baseball on top. Dan Hefner, Dallas Baptist. This is an under-the-radar guy who could be ready to make a step up to the big leagues of college baseball. We consistently hear DBU, a school of little to no note in any other sport mentioned with the other top 25 programs in college baseball, has a lot to do with Hefner, who's been at the helm for nearly 20 years.
He's good at what he does. He's well known in the state of Texas as doing what he does.
Currently boasts the nation's 7th highest active winning percentage.
And they've always hit. And when I'm talking about guys like Laviolette and guys like Rehovac, who are in the portal, who are bats, I want to be around that guy. That guy gets me paid. You know what I mean? So I don't know that they're gonna and the pitching staff already said they ain't going nowhere for the most part, but that was pretty interesting too. I don't know what those guys did to them, but they ain't leaving. So it's gonna be interesting. I texted Jason Hutchins up there, good buddy of mine I've known for a long time. It was crickets on ice, buddy. It was great. And I know Hutch is great. He was like, nope, not talking about nothing. So, but it was, I'm hearing Hefner.
How about Cliff Godwin mentioning about how he blamed the outgoing transfers for his program's early NCAA tournament exit?
I know Cliff as well. I would say I think there's a lot of people who don't like the mentality that's come with this because it's too much of a wild, wild west. Now, Cliff Godwin is a I hesitate to call East Carolina mid-major because they've done well.
Yeah.
But they're not SEC.
No, I mean, listen, let's be honest. That's a program that the SEC schools use as a minor league.
They go get them.
They go. That's where they pick from.
But I'll say this. I think the frustration is real. Frustration is real trying to compete and then knowing your best players are gone the next year because you have to refill them from places that make it tough to compete. You have to be better at your job than anybody else, and I don't think that scares Cliff at all. I think Cliff fights so hard and is loyal to his players. He wants the same loyalty back. It's just a different game. It's a different game now.
Speaking of a different game, the Houston Astros, for the first time this season, reaching the 500 mark without Kyle Tucker, without Justin Verlander.
Who's hitting second?
Alex Bregman has been mostly hitting second. And let me tell you, I looked up and I saw his average right around 250, and I was, man, what a turnaround.
So you're saying that it wasn't Alvarez and it wasn't Tucker. It was somebody who has extra base and home run power, who hits line drives over the place.
Yeah.
Who can protect Altuve.
Yep.
And help set the table.
Yeah.
Huh. I just never would have thought that would have worked, Jason.
I know, because listen, don't you want to get your bet? I mean, you want Jordan to bat second
Man.
and Kyle Tucker, because that's what the calculators say.
Yeah, my calculator says
sorry.
somebody else in the 2 spot,
That, it seems like that was so long ago, Jeremy.
80 games to be exact.
But really, it wasn't long ago.
Let me say it to you.
And we need to rank your top 5 moments of Astros fans going ballistic. That's in the top 5. That one's definitely in the top 5.
Well, it's one. I think it's 2 or 3 for me.
Yeah. I know what another one is.
You know what one is?
I would say it was the Oakland A's tweet about
yeah, that was one.
That was one
about
one. How the Astros social media department was not helping matters.
Still not helping.
Nope. And you had sources, I think you said within the clubhouse.
Well, just within the organization.
Within the organization. Okay, that was right. Yeah, within the organization. Sorry.
Somebody say that to think that I knew Astros people in the organization.
This guy is no insider. We never said you were an insider.
Meanwhile, I got pictures posted with my dude over here and my dude over here. And all you have to do is not be king of the lazy problem 201 takes, and you can go ahead and see it. I'm sorry.
So those are, what was was there another one you were thinking of?
Well, a victory lap was in the postseason.
No. We're talking about we said top 3 moments where
I can't take that.
Huh?
I can't take that one. That was good. No.
That's for another show.
All right. Well, when I said Luno, anything with Luno is pick one.
I feel like there was something.
How about when the guy said that this podcast was for people that hate the Astros? That's a good one.
Yeah, that was a good one too. Yeah.
That was good. I don't know, some good moments. I say what's on my mind, peoples.
And it's normally right, but people who've been watching and listening for years, they know that. Let's do a quick version of Pump the Brakes. One of the titles, headlines on MLB.com: Atkins, Blue Jays in tough spot as trade deadline looms. Pump the brakes, or is that accurate?
It's accurate.
Yeah, it's accurate.
Yeah, it's accurate. It's a tough division over there.
Do they trade? Do you think they trade Bichette or Vladdy Jr.?
Probably Vlad. Get something back for him, retool a little bit. It depends what they think they have in their organization. I think Bichette's probably next. I don't think he's first. They also got Springer. They still have some money out there for guys that expect to win. It's interesting because Shapiro and Atkins, man, they're still searching for that ring. Like, there's a lot of Cleveland Guardians out there that I like. Like, they got 18 of future star. They do great in development, and they get guys to the big leagues. Man, they can't have a hard time getting over the hump. Cleveland itself has done a better job since Antonetti's been the guy. Shapiro's probably been in Toronto, 7-8 years now? It's been a minute.
Yeah.
Maybe 10, So, I mean, it's an interesting dynamic up there, but I got a hard time. Those guys don't win. So it doesn't make any sense, or it makes sense to me, rather, they would move some guys around.
Hazel May, who we typically see during the postseason, spoke to Bo Bichette. This is, the 27th, earlier today. Spoke to Bo Bichette about trade rumors and deadline talk. I asked him whether he'd be surprised if he were moved at the trade deadline. No, not surprised at all.
Yeah, I can get it. Isn't Hazel May married to Kevin Barker, first baseman, former first baseman of the Brewers? Yeah. That's a funny story. Kevin Barker was an interesting cat for another time. But anyway,
why did you? Were you guys teammates?
He was ahead of me, Milwaukee.
Okay.
Bucky was there. Jacobson, who I talked to the other day. My actual Uber driver. I'm sorry to go off on this team.
No.
In Nashville, dropped Bucky Jacobson on me in the Uber driver.
Well, because and I was Bucky was. I mean, Nashville was where Bucky was mashing, right?
Well, this guy was from Seattle.
Oh.
And that's how it came up. He had moved to Nashville, and so he dropped the Mariners on me about something. I was like, "Yeah, I know. I'm familiar with the Seattle Mariners." And
wait a minute, back up. How did Bucky Jacobson come up?
He dropped that Bucky was his favorite guy. He listens to Bucky on the radio now.
But how
he brought it up? And I said, "Oh yeah, no Buck."
But he must have known you were here for probably the conversation. What are you here for? I'm here for baseball.
No, the conversation somehow turned to where he was from, Seattle,
Oh,
and that he was a baseball fan,
okay.
and that he listened to Bucky Jacobson every morning on the show.
I didn't know that.
And I said, well, I know Buck, former teammate. And so I texted Buck and I was like, hey, man, my Uber driver just dropped your name on me. You got to give him a shout out, like when you do your show. And he did. He did. Buck did. He's great. But where are we going with this? Just where do we start out with it? Bucky's my dude.
I'm sorry, but
Hazel May.
Bucky did most of his damage in Huntsville, not Nashville.
Yes, he did.
Sorry.
Which isn't that far away.
My
Hazel
bad.
May.
Which isn't that far away.
Yeah, Hazel May.
Yeah. Kevin Barker.
Yeah, but before that, Bichette. So the Blue Jays retool. We're working there. Blue Jays will be retooling. They have to be retooling. They have to go back. So we'll see what they do. But Atkins and Shapiro are going to have to produce a winner pretty soon.
I had no idea Bucky Jacobson had a morning show.
Yeah.
Seattle sports leader, 93.3.
Yeah, that's Buck. Yeah.
Wow. Did not know that.
Buck's a cold hero,
Chuck
man.
and Buck. That's the name of the show.
I love it.
Chuck
Love
and
it.
Buck.
He said he gave the Future Star Series a shout out.
Oh, wow.
Yeah.
When we look at the top overall vote getters, Aaron Judge, Bryce Harper for the All-Star game.
Okay. No surprise.
No surprise. No surprise at all. American League, you've got Rutschman and Perez at catcher.
No surprise.
Mountcastle, Vladimir Guerrero Jr. at first base.
Future Astro.
You think?
No. Go ahead.
Altuve and Simeon at second.
It's good.
Should be Altuve.
Yeah.
Jose Ramirez, Jordan Westberg at third.
Okay.
Gunnar Henderson, Bobby Witt Jr. Juan Soto, Stephen Kwan, Anthony Santander, and Kyle Tucker, the finalists in the outfield.
Soto's going to win that one.
Designated hitter Ryan O'Hearn and Jordan Alvarez.
Jordan won that one.
You weren't here, but when the Orioles were here.
Nope, I missed.
Yeah, we saw Colton Cowser and talked to him, former star at Sam Houston. The reason I bring that up is because Ryan O'Hearn also went to Sam Houston.
Yep.
You know what I've been really into of late?
What's that?
Which pops up on my feeds, whether it's on Facebook or YouTube. People have edited the old All-Star Game introductions. So, for example, here's the 1975 All-Star, National League All-Star, and they've edited it just enough that you can fit the entire lineup in whatever amount of time is needed. And I really enjoy seeing that for the 90 seconds and reliving like the 84 All-Star game and the 83 and the 85.
Where are you seeing this again? Where is it again?
Facebook.
I have to check it out.
Scrolls. It'll be on Facebook Reels, I think it's called.
Okay.
Yeah.
I'll show you.
All right. So you were in Nashville for the New Balance Future Stars series.
Who's that?
What stage are you at currently, as we have about 4 minutes left? What stage are you at this point in yours? Is this for the selection process?
This is the selection process. This last one was a class of 26, which goes to Fenway.
Okay.
And I was really happy with how this worked out. We have about 130 guys that were in this event. We think we're going to take 44 to Boston. Not sure yet.
44, is that more than normal, or
No, it's a little less.
Little less?
Yeah, just because there's a lot of two-way guys, a lot of versatility.
Okay.
You know, that class has some, like we had Landon Brown from Rosharon, Texas.
Okay.
91, 93, good body, strike thrower, lower slot.
So these are all sophomores heading into their junior year.
And there's 3 Houston guys that stood out.
Okay.
Okay, he's one of them. He's also a pretty good third baseman. He's got good instincts and he can hit. He's got a feel to drive the baseball. So he's a legitimate two-way guy. This kid named Avery Bell, who's from the area. I want to say Spring High School. Don't quote me on that. But little Jerry Hairston action, plays second base. And as I told Jerry when I saw him in Arizona, because you may have seen the picture of me and Jerry standing together, I said, Jerry, every scout's put you on their card 100 times. You're the guy. I didn't tell Scott that. I sat with Scott later too. Didn't tell Scott that. But anyway, Avery Bell, a lot of power, can run, can throw the ball a little bit. So he's a good player. And then there was a kid named Ethan Bayless. and Bayless is from Memorial High School. Live body, loose, good swing, executes, barrel the baseball. You know, he's gonna have to do some things to separate himself, but if you watch him play, you like him. And those are the 3 guys from Houston that did really well. So,
who would be the consensus top player at the event, or you don't look at it that way?
I don't look at it that way because I think everybody's wrong.
Wait, what?
They're all wrong.
They're all wrong.
Yeah, I mean, I don't know how many times I got to go back and this is you know, this is just us. Just this is confidential.
Yeah,
just,
yeah,
you know, me.
yeah.
I don't know how many times I got to go back in and continue to whoop these people's evaluation tails.
Okay.
Okay. And some of these guys can't spell who the players were. They can't even spell their names. And I've got guys going up top at Vandy. I've got class of 26s in there driving the ball. I got guys throwing strikes. I got loose arms. I got deliveries that work. There's a kid out of Georgia whose name I'm not going to give you that was Irvin Santana comparison. And I was like, who is this dude? And I picked him to advance. I was like, this guy's for real.
When you say who is this dude, has he progressed so well that you were surprised? Or?
I saw him in a bullpen like 3 weeks ago.
Okay.
And I brought him I said, yeah, come on, let's go. 1 month ago. He showed up there and it was like, whew, this is disgusting. Here's another kid who's from Nashville.
Okay.
From Nashville. Football quarterback, doesn't start at his high school. And he's a two-way guy. And he comes to me one day, he says, hey, second to last day, he says, I like to pitch tomorrow. Is that okay? I know he's a pitcher. I had no idea. Goes out there, he's 88, 90 with a hammer breaking ball. The catcher couldn't even catch the ball. They broke that hard. He had no clue what he's doing. You know, that's the type of stuff that comes my way. It's not the overly famous stuff. It's the why is nobody noticing me stuff. I'm obvious. You know what? They're not always obvious, and sometimes they are. But they're obvious to people who can scout. And all you have to do is develop it. If you can't scout, you don't have 22 out of 100.
You're doing that face again.
Am I? Okay. But it was a good event. And again, for the Houston, Texas crowd, there was 3 pretty good ones. Dallas had a couple in there too. It's going to be an interesting event.
There were 130s ish.
Yeah. Between the 6 teams.
And they were there from when to when?
24, 25, 26 of this month. I got back today off a plane, rolled out of Oklahoma when I landed. And we're
Jeremy's secret sauce, by the way, is dried pineapple.
Yeah, that was a gas station special.
Yeah,
it was good.
All right.
So,
all right, everybody. I think that about wraps up this Extra Bases. Talked a lot of college baseball, which was nice for a change.
Yeah, we can do that.
Yeah, we can do that. All right, everybody. For Jeremy, I'm Jason. Until next time, thanks for watching. And as always, leave your comments, concerns, questions, everything below. And I'll try and look at them so we can talk about that later. Take care.